Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike coming at you with the weekly news and review for December 24th, 2023. And Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Enjoy your Christmas Eve. And I want to say that we do have some news this week. It's not a whole lot, but getting into it, we do have Transformers news. A couple of things to look at in the Masters of the Universe realm. We've got this Turtles of Grayskull packaging and a few other things. Bit of a short Ramen toy update. Some really cool stuff that they've got going on and what they're doing. And we're going to take a look at all that. So Batman 66 from McFarlane is taking a different twist and going to a late 70s cartoon. And with that, we are going to see some of these molds, I guess, reusing the old molds. We'll talk about that. And briefly saying these are coming in stock, and I'm going to tell you what I think about it and how you can save a little money on these already. And yes, there is Star Wars news, so we'll be talking about some Star Wars news, this and more, coming up. Alright, starting out talking about a few things at Show Z. This Science Culture Metroplex is on sale for $40 off, so it's $160 instead of $200. I was a little shocked by the $200 price, and the only way I found out about this is they refunded me $40 in credit towards my next purchase because of the fact that they lowered the price within 30 days of my purchase. Now, I haven't received mine yet because they're having trouble with the carrier not being able to take the package because it has magnets and LEDs or batteries or something. Anyhow, they found another carrier and now mine's on the way. They also have this New Age Hardcore Scene Series Set D, the Arc Diorama, on sale from $255 to $200. I had no idea that thing was that expensive, but it's a 2603 piece put together, I guess, kind of like Legos. And although I will be talking about another Trans Art Cheetor, this is the Transmetal 2 version of Cheetor, and it's from Transart, $79 if you're interested in this. They have it in stock, add to cart. Alright, so starting out we have the Ocular Max PS21A Medicus, and this is their toy version. This is the prototype, I guess. Well, not really prototype, but probably the finished product. Looks like it has better paint than the first go-around, and I'm not sure if those are going to be tampografts or sticker decals. Probably sticker decals, but interesting to see how this comes out, and they're moving along with their combiners. Fans Hobby's putting out a purple version of their Naval Commander, and this is the MB-15C, which looks cool. It's interesting color choice, color design, and then they've got the alt mode right here, which looks pretty good, like you'd expect, pretty much. But then you get into all this going on at the same time, which is quite interesting. Which is, of course, the base mode, and just throwing a bunch of other figures in there so you can see what's going on. But cool repaint, not really anything new going on here. Pictures of a company called Wonderful Trans with a WTO and Ronin. So this should be their first figure out the gate, and looks pretty cool. Pretty interesting, stylized take, and good-looking figure overall. And I think they did a good job with it. Believe it to be Masterpiece size, that's why in the Masterpiece news. Here's the alt mode to it, and the alt mode looks really good. Real cool looking figure, and we'll see how these more obscure lines take off going forward. But this one is Wonderful Trans. Now, there's just not a lot out there for Masterpiece news right now, but we have an update from X-Transbots. So, the MX-28 Fast in lane and the MX-28 Fury. So, that's Runabout and Runamuck. Those should be out in late January or early January, depending on which one. And then the Big Load, which would be the first one coming from their Devastator, that should be out this month. And then Paragon should be out early 2024. A lot of people ask me about when Paragon's coming, and it looks to be early at 2024. Then we've got the 3.0 MDLX Optimus Prime Year of the Dragon Edition Gold version. Now, this is a limited release. It's limited, but it's still going to have almost 1,400 produced. So you should be able to get this from different distributors, such as Show Z when they get theirs in. Should be easier to get some of these other limited runs that were down to like 100 or 200. So 1,400 still, that's a pretty good amount, to tell you the truth. So I might be able to get my hands on one of these and check it out. That is the Year of the Dragon edition. Now, I think the MDLX is around the 7-inch scale, and I believe Trumpeter is the 7-inch scale, but this is Trumpeter, and coming out with their Optimus Prime, what they call a smart kit, and then You got to be smart and patient to put it together. So that's everything that's going to go along with it if you want to put this bad boy together. And then when you're done, it should look like this. So this is the Bumblebee movie type version. And it looks pretty good. It looks good if you're into that. And I believe it to be 7-inch scale. Transart, for whatever reason, is showing off more pictures of their BWM03. Obviously, to promote the product. I think it looks good. I have it on the way. But more pictures of this product that is technically already shipping, I thought. Looks good. I think this is my favorite version of Cheetor. I actually like the Transmetals more than the first runs, but I might be in the minority on that. But I really like them because they feel like they fit in G1 better, and they feel like Transformers. It works for Transformers better, but I like them. I don't know why they've got so many of these molds all at once, but isn't it fun? Triton. So this is the first of the Legends we're talking about. And I think it looks pretty good. I missed out on the Magic Square one. I wasn't doing Legends back then. I haven't seen them put it back out. It was like a 2-pack. And I think if Magic Square did another one, they would probably do a different mold. But I think this looks good, and this will be my Sea Spray on my shelf when the time comes. But pretty cool stuff. It's an interesting figure. Here's the alt mode. I do have this coming. I will take a look at it when it comes in. But pretty exciting stuff. And I'm surprised it's not out yet. And I'm surprised we haven't seen 6 repaints yet. A lot of people seem to be giving up on Rising Force or already have Magic Square and are like, why? Hopefully it's an easier transformation than Magic Square. And it's more simplistic. And that might be a win. Might be a plus for them. But there is the Motormaster. And here's Motormaster in the bot mode. And looks pretty decent. It's not a bad looking figure. And this company abandoned the Masterpiece with the Legends. I think they saw the market would have been better because there's only one to compete against instead of like 3. So 2.5. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, there it is. Combined mode. Looks good. So there's some Beast Box Beasts coming. So animals. Looks like they're hinting at a giraffe. But what's not hinted at is what's actual coming. And we got a camel, which... kind of interesting. You start to look at it and start to wonder, how do they get that into a box? You can't put camel in a box, baby. But I guess they did. But it's even stranger to see this go in a box. So an alligator, crocodile, Dundee would say, how does that go in a box? And it looks pretty smooth. I like the rounded edges and stuff. So it's pretty rounded off. That's interesting that they accomplished that. Then you get like a computer terminal, which, I don't know, out of the blue. 52 toys. The Wandering Earth 2. Quite interesting. Now this isn't Legends, but a Legends adjacent. So I'll just talk about it in Legends. This is a Blocks Group X. Make it an RC. Now this looks to be painted. Maybe it's got some die cast. But they are small, like Legends, in my belief. They look pretty cool. Don't see that they transform into anything. This is BXJ. So there's another one they're making too. So they're making a Mirage. Now these are stylized. They're not looking super G1, but they look pretty cool. Interesting stuff. And I don't think they transform. I mean, the Block X makes me think they should turn into a block, but I don't think they do. When I talked about these before, I wanted to not like them. I don't want another scale, but it's sort of Legend scale for this is YOLO Park AMK miniseries. And I was like, yeah, easy pass, easy pass. But from my understanding, if you order straight from their site, it's like 50 or 60 bucks for all 6, 50 plus shipping. And then you could go to like TF Source and some of the other places that have it. I don't see it at Show Z yet, but all these other places that have it, you can get it for like 62. So that makes them like a little over 10 bucks a figure, which it's not bad if they're really truly between 4 and 5 inch tall. That's pretty cool. Here's kind of a close up on how it looks, and it's pretty much G1. Nothing on the lines of their Pro series. The AMK Pro looks amazing, although great paint and the metallic look. These are simplistic, very little paint, minimal paint, but they look good. And I do believe you'd have to put them together the same way, just snap a few parts together. Still looks pretty cool. I might have to go in on it now. And here's a Soundwave. I don't really want to go through all of them, but they seem to just come with some extra hands and one gun or something. Minimal accessories, which is fine. I think we've seen pictures of this in the past, but I thought we saw the Cyan Culture one, and this is the Emperor Poseidon. So I'm not sure if these are two of the same or a whole other company making it. But here we go with Trypticon. It's said to be 9 inches tall, so I think that's a little short for a Stormtrooper, and for if this was to go up against like the Cyang Metroplex. But still, going up against combiners, it's the right size, but not going up against the Metroplex. Here's the alt mode, and looks pretty good. I think it looks great. I think it's a great option. I still feel like it's even too small for Legends, but I think they're targeting the Legends audience. Here's the, I don't want to call it grayscale, blue scale prototype, what you got going on right there. And it's looking quite promising. And then we have the all mode. I mean, obviously for space purposes, it's good to be this size, but still leaves me wanting a little bit bigger. But is bigger better? Maybe in this case. Can't really talk about small without talking about the MPH Studio S03. I was so badly wanting this to be big enough for Legends. I might still pick it up though. I think I do have it pre-ordered, so when it comes out. But showing you prototypes, it looks really good, and it's really small. So with that, it might look good on a Legends shelf. We'll find that out, but I think it's coming along really well. Great looking figure. DNA Designs make the DK48. This is accessory series for the Optimus Primal, but they haven't shown the breakdown of parts and what it comes with. But I believe those blades are something new. Maybe that face mask. I'm not sure. I really don't know what they got going on with this shoulder pieces. Anyhow, it looks to spruce them up a bit, and it'll be interesting to see more on this product. This is the first thing they've shown. Obviously, if you're looking forward to getting one of these, then you might want to get the upgrade kit. Getting into mainline Transformers, here we get to see the Studio Series Bumblebee version of Shockwave. I think it matches the Shockwave the way it should. It looks like what you'd expect from the movies, from the Bumblebee movie, and I think it looks great. I would like a darker purple, but it's not as light as like Lavender Wave Masterpiece, and you can kind of see it scaled next to some of the other figures they've made. Here we are with the alt mode, which I never was a fan of this. To me, Shockwave should be a gun or an upside down submarine or whatever. Make it an upside down submarine, then we can turn it around to be a gun. But nobody's going to confuse Shockwave as a gun, as a real gun. Nobody. It's just not going to happen. So we should be able to make it correct. Anyhow, this is what it looks like. Okay, so we got a 40th anniversary reissue of Blaster from Hasbro, and I've got to say, I think it's the one on the right. The one on the right, I believe, is the one to make it look more cartoony, I guess you could say. But I think they're going to hit a wall here of reissuing the same figures over and over and over. They've already done this as a Walmart one. They went to clearance. I got a couple of them for $2 each, and that was pretty fun. Actually, I think I only got one for $2, and I paid like half price for one. But still, I mean, I think they're going to hit a wall, and these are all going to go to clearance, or a lot of them are going to go to clearance, because I don't think collectors want to keep buying the same figure over and over and over. Why not give us stuff that we don't have that we haven't seen yet or in a long time? And I'll just admit, I have no plans to buy this at all unless I see it real cheap on clearance, because I've already got several Blasters, vintage, the reissue. I mean, I don't see the point. Some people just started collecting might like it, and a few people will pick it up at full price, but not that many. It still looks okay. I think it looks pretty cool. This past week we had that HasLab Vault open. I made a whole video about it, but I still stand by what I say. It's just extra inventory they were clearing out. But I do want to say, some people were just mad about it. Some people were mad that they feel like they were kind of bait and switched to get the premium, but by the time they log in, they were sold out. And I got to tell you this, though. If they do another production run of the Cell Barge, and it's not drastically different, I'm going to have a problem with that. I'm going to have a problem backing any HasLabs going forward. It's different to say, hey, we have 20 or 50 left. They didn't give a number. Than to say, we're just going to do a whole nother run of this, and all of you supported before, screw you. And it's in the small print that they do have to make changes if they run another one. But with that, I do believe they'll do several other versions of the His Tank in the future. Because they already alluded to that. And it's a little different if you're already talking about during funding, that we'll make different colors in the future. And here we go with what all they put up for the vault. And it was up for, some of them were only up for a couple minutes. Sky Striker was up for like 25 minutes or something. But with that, they went pretty quick. And I put it on my community tab to let everybody know. and I hope I helped somebody get one. But it's one of those things that was yet very short notice, and they sold out fast. And I don't know, maybe they should just put them all on eBay, blitz eBay with 20 or 50 of them, and starting bid at the funding price. I mean, that's the only other thing I could think of to get rid of the excess and clear out space. And they were in a building that they're no longer going to be using. All right, Ramen Toy is off to the races with the Ramen Racer, and cool, they show us all this stuff. They're showing us some behind the scenes manufacturing process. This is the mold. This is coming out of the mold, as you can see, and that looks really cool, the way they're doing this. Or that's just the mold, and they'll be popping out of this mold soon. And I really like how they show all this stuff. Looks really cool. It's a lot of fun. Here's the top half of the mold, and of course they'll connect together, get injected, and it'll be a lot of fun. So it's cool that they show all of this. It does have a top, middle, and bottom, by the way. This is cool how they show the packaging and how it's going to kind of heat seal onto this, which is really cool. Kind of always wondered exactly how this process works, and that makes sense. You lay them all in the tray inside there, and then it gets pressed with the heat and melts it to it. There it is, packaging for the Ramen Toys 80s Commanders figures. A lot of fun. And introducing their antagonist scientist. The first one we got was antagonist Cyborg, but this is their take on Doc, and it looks really good. It's faithful to the original, modern upgrades, and yeah, it looks great, actually. I'm very impressed with what I've seen so far. Early renders, pretty much, but looking great overall. And I kind of think that they're going to do all of the characters. I'd like to see some characters that weren't in the original run for back in the day, but I'm super stoked and excited about every one of these that they are putting out, and I'm definitely in on them. Definitely. So look at that crazy wild face of his. But does fit the character right, and well, kind of a modern flair. Lastly, we get to see the Marshal with all his gear on, and this is still prototype phase, but looks good, and I'm looking forward to this figure. I really am. This, and then the 3-0. I understand the 3-0 is getting pushed back because of some of the other projects they have going on, but the Marshal should be coming sometime in 2024, and they have everything planned through June of 2024. Lots of great stuff coming from Ramen Toy. All right, so I want to get into this. So Entertainment Earth has this wave in stock. BBTS will probably be getting theirs within the week. I don't know. But the real strange thing is now they're in stock, and Snarf is still sold out. And I must have seen hundreds of people say, Snarf's overpriced, Snarf's overpriced. And there's no way they're paying $55 for Snarf. But yet it's sold out. That's kind of strange, huh? That tiny little one that's the same price as the rest of them is the one that's sold out. I do not know how fast they'll sell out at BBTS. I got mine pre-ordered through BBTS, but you can also use any of the codes for any of the people out there that have an Entertainment Earth code to get them cheaper, 10% off and free shipping at Entertainment Earth if you're just getting in on these other three. So NECA's doing like 10 days of Christmas or 12 days of Christmas or something like that. And they're not announcing new product. They're just showing what they've done. Kind of like, hey, we've already done this. This is out there. We got Elkhorn that's coming, but I'm not against that because it's nice to get a breath, try to catch up without spending thousands of dollars here. You know, it's nice. And to get to kind of reflect back and look at what they've made so far. They did do quite a bit this year with this line, and with Elkhorn coming soon, they're doing good work. Now I'd like to know more coming in the future, but they also did this with their Universal Monsters. Since I don't follow this line as closely, I don't know if any of this is new announcements or if it's all just old stuff that they've made. But I did see a couple of these at Ross, oddly enough, for like $8. I probably should have got them, but it's not my bag and I've already bought too much. All right, so getting into the Turtles of Grayskull, this is the Krang figure, which is interesting because you can pop it apart and pop in the Krang midsection, and so that is cool that they did that. There are interesting ideas that they're populating this line with, and I know Mega J Retro, one of the shops up in Canada, has gotten their order in for these, but can't sell them yet. So that's kind of cool. Got wave 1 of the standard. This is probably a deluxe. But I'm probably not going to get in on any of these because I'm kind of getting out of turtles. And I'm just picking and choosing on the Motu stuff because you only need so much. But it's still cool to see it going on. So we got wave 12 of Masterverse, I guess is what they're calling it. But this is the Mechanic. And I think it looks good. And I like the neck. And there's a picture in here, which I don't have it, but picture of him using that thing as an eyepiece. The neck connected to his weapon, and the end of the weapon connected to it to make an eyepiece. Probably should have gone out of my way to get that picture. Here is the packaging. This is the new modern packaging. It's okay. It's not the worst, but it's not the greatest. I prefer to see more of the figure, but still, you can see what really matters, I guess. We're going to get what looks like a comic Triclops, which of course we've seen all this before, but these are updated promo pics, so why not talk about them? And then I seem to be the only one on the planet that thinks it's a silly idea, but why another Battle Armor He-Man? I don't get it, but here we go with another Battle Armor He-Man, and people say it's a new buck, and so that's why, and they're happy with the options, and I guess that's okay, but I'm not excited for it. But I'm going to be picking and choosing on this line too. Yeah, I'm going to be picking these $6 and $10 figures. Those are the ones I'm going to pick out. And yeah, so it kind of gets into the next story I want to talk about. It's a transition. Here's good old Ollie's, and this was stacked with toys Friday, Saturday afternoon. They've relocated from this to fill in gaps in other places, but other places aren't super stacked. The main aisle is still kept really full, but they're dwindling out of this main area where they had overflowed this stuff, and it was stacked, just stacked. So people are out and about this weekend buying whatever for the kids. Not one G.I. Joe Classifieds left. A lot of the Transformers are gone. Oddly enough, Ross, the same exact thing. They had these extra tables set up, 3 of them, 3 rows of tables. One's not in this picture. It was more of a row of bins full of toys, just stacks of them. And all of this has been wiped out, and the little bit of stuff that was left was relocated back to the toy aisle. Toy aisle's not very thick either. And we got one more day to go. So I'm going to go snap pictures of Christmas Eve right before closings on these places just for fun. But kind of crazy. This is a public service announcement for anybody thinking that they should buy a pre-order on eBay for your Eternia playset, and I think it's a terrible idea to pre-order it now. Here's what you always need to do. Wait for them to show up in droves. Everybody that bought an extra one to sell it is going to be fighting each other to sell it. And you know when it says in hand, and they show you a picture of the box, that they have it in hand, these people could all be scammers for all you know. You have no idea. Absolutely no idea. You might not ever get it. You might get your money back, but how many months will you wait to get it back? How long will you be fighting this? Don't do any pre-ordering on eBay ever. It's the worst idea. There's going to be plenty of these for secondary market for sale, probably at better prices than this. I don't know. I can't guarantee anything, but I can guarantee you 1 or 2 or 3 of these people are going to be regretting this purchase. All right, so there's a new DC Retro Batman 66 wave, 9 pictures of these, I guess. Comic edition, Gordon, Riddler, Joker, and more. You got a Batgirl, and you got Robin, Batman, of course. This is quite interesting to go in this route. So I take it, first of all, they're not Target exclusives, so it's open up to everyone. And they're looking more cartoony, in my opinion, than the other ones that were made for the Batman 66. I'm intrigued by them, but also I kind of got used to buying them at Target for $9 on sale. So 17 or 18 bucks is starting to sting again. But I do like that we're getting more of these characters. Pretty cool. Will we get an Alfred? I don't know. I'm not going to go through all of them, but this is the Batgirl and what her costume looks like, what her packaging looks like. She does have accessories, not wham bam, thank you ma'ams. And that's what they were packing, the wham bam, thank you ma'ams. Those little word bubbles in the first, 5, 6, 7 waves. Finally, we get real accessories, and I like that. She looks good, though, so it's going to be hard not to pick her up, but And I got used to getting them so cheap. So Mezco's making something that I think is really weird for them to be making. Outside of their wheelhouse a bit. But this is 5 points articulation Batman and the animated figures and the Batmobile. And you can buy it, I believe, all at one shot for $125. So 4 figures and the Batmobile for $125. Or 4 figures for $80. That makes them $20 each. And then the Batmobile by itself, I believe, is $45. But if you're into this era, which I'm not going that deep into Batman, so I probably won't pick them up, but it's still something interesting that they're doing. So we're getting into Star Wars news, and I want to point this out that it's probably gone now. I didn't see it now after Christmas, after Saturday. I didn't see it, but for 2 weeks this Gen Urso sat there, and I predicted that nobody's gonna want this figure, and I was right. I bought mine for 3 cents in like 2017 or 2018 when Walmart had that purge for 3 cents on all Black Series. But here she was. I bet you if I dug hard enough, I'd find her. She would have relocated somewhere, and nobody still bought her. But it's one of those things that shows that she was from one of the more popular movies, too, and nobody wanted her. All right, Gentle Giant does have news out for a Christmas Jumbo R2-D2 Christmas version with some Christmas lights on it and a hat. So this is 12-inch scale, so around 5.5 to 6 inches tall. And so I don't get in the 12-inch scale, but I think it's cool. And it's really the only news we got this week when it comes to Star Wars, sadly. All right, so what do you think about this week's weekly news and review? For me, in hindsight, I should have typed it all into Chat GPT and let it do the work for me, but I'm not that good. So anyway, let me know what you think. Like, subscribe. Have a great Christmas. Teddy Hanger out.